Hey guys, my name is Cale Sikes. I'm actually here with Game Haven, Ace of Geeks, and Gaming Mommies podcasts, and I'm on this set with
Matthew Mercer.
Oh.
It's my voice actor from Los Angeles and the Dungeon Master for Geek and Sundry's Critical Role.
Yeah, awesome show. If y'all haven't seen it, check it out. We're going to have a link on all the web pages that we can whenever we do that, just like we always do whenever they come up with new stuff. So let's go ahead and get to the questions for the interview. So do you prefer to go by Matt or Matthew? Or
Matt's the best and the easiest casual.
Cool. Got it. All right. So when did you start playing? I mean, I know D&D's been out forever, but like, when did you start up?
I mean, tabletop role-playing games I got introduced to in 1996. It was my freshman year of high school, and I'd heard about them but never had the opportunity to really join a game until I was invited that year. And so, so I jumped right into second edition D&D. It was built my first character, which was a terribly built wizard with the militant kit, which basically made you a frontline melee fighter wizard in second edition, which was
very nice.
You know, so counter to what you could actually survive. But you know, you learn through your mistakes.
Absolutely, it's the best way.
Exactly, but that's essentially where it started.
So you've been playing like almost 20 or just about 20 years
20
now.
years, yeah.
Man, that's older than some of you kids out there. Y'all think about that for a second.
I post on my panels, I'm like, I'm playing games longer than you've been alive.
Oh man.
God,
yeah, I know. We have kids come in every once in a while and I'm like, how old are you? Man, these cards are older than you are. Do you understand what's happening right now?
Yep.
All right, so
what's a Black Lotus? It can be your father, is what it is.
Oh my gosh, this is your college tuition. That's what this is.
Yeah, seriously.
Did someone introduce it to you, or did you actually discover it on yourself? Which I guess you kind of answered first off. So
yeah. I had
were you interested beforehand, or was someone just like, oh hey, we're gonna play D&D, you want to come out? Or
I was interested. At a garage sale years before I started playing, my mom found a bunch of books that were all like first and second edition monster manual stuff.
Please tell me you still have them.
And somewhere, I'm sure, in storage. But they were. She got them for me because I had cool artwork, and I was an artist, and so I like to draw monsters and creatures. So I love looking through them and reading the material just for the mythological beasts and the cool creature designs, but never had an opportunity to play a game because I just had the books.
Right. You kind of have to have people. So
exactly. So I had some friends of mine who I helped out with. They were the presidents and the people who ran the Popular Arts Club in the school, which was the spin title for the video game anime club.
Oh yeah, we've got one of those in our town too.
Yeah.
So cool.
So they were the ones who invited me to their game, and we played for a bit. And the DM was awful. Really nice guy. He was a terrible DM. And after playing for about 6-7 months, I just like, nah, I'm out. I gotta do this myself. So that's when I started DMing. So
awesome. So actually, what do you prefer? Do you would you rather be playing, or would you rather be DMing, or?
I mean, it's hard for me to say. Being a player is a lot of fun. I like the idea of the unknown, walking into a circumstance and just being purely responsible for your own actions and being part of the player narrative is really cool. But ultimately, I really enjoy providing stories for other people, and I love watching them play and surprise me.
Yeah, like you were supposed to go through this door, but you went through that one, and I don't know. Oh no, we'll just do this, and then it ends up working out perfect.
Exactly.
I love it when that happens.
So I actually really enjoy the thrill of being a GM, and I think if I had to say the two, I probably enjoy GMing more than a player. But I also haven't really played in a number of years, so.
Yes, we had a campaign. I think it was Sunday before last or so, but it was the first time I've actually been a player as opposed to a GM in like 2 or 3 years. But I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, I haven't done this in forever.
Yeah.
So it's good to kind of every once in a while step back into the player's shoes, so you can be like, oh, okay, kind of get a good bearing on the other side of the screen. That's one of my favorite sayings I picked up from one of the guys. So alrighty, you've had several guests play with you on Critical Role. What is it like to play with Wil Wheaton and his legendary fail role, or Chris Hardwick?
Well, Hardwick's he was a lot of fun. I played with him before privately. We've been friends for years, and I ran a game for him and a few other people for just like 2 little one-shots before he came on Critical Role, and so it was just more about like trying to find time. I was actually going to have him guest in the first round of guests we had, but his schedule didn't line up.
That happens.
But I was glad he was able to come on and play, and he was an absolute blast. Wil Wheaton, you hear the legend of Wil Wheaton. You hear the legend of Wil Wheaton's dice rolls, and you're like, that's a pretty funny myth, but like it's not,
Yeah.
they can't be that bad. No, like it breaks math, physics.
Oh, this is
don't
like a
apply.
legit thing then.
Yeah, no, we all watched because we were all very curious about all the things we've heard, and the man rolled so low, so consistency over 2 sessions that it was spooky, like
Really?
straight up.
See, I always thought they staged that as kind of like that's his shtick. Like, oh, he's just really bad at rolling. We'll roll.
We
with
thought
the
so
cameras.
too.
Yeah,
We thought so too, and then it happened, and it kept happening, and it kept happening, and it was.
Dude, we need to find his counterpart. That's just like, all right, you're really bad at rolling. You need to get with this guy who's really good at rolling, and y'all figure something out.
Well, we thought of one of our players, Taliesin, has extremely good luck in our game at times.
Yeah.
So we thought if we get them together, maybe it would cancel out or like destroy all of humanity.
Right. Like bag of holding and bag of holding.
Yeah. We did. But no, that didn't happen. They just kind of negated each other like through the same sides of a magnet. So.
Oh man,
What are you gonna do?
No fun. Okay, what's the funniest thing that's ever actually been brought a session to a grinding halt?
Oh man.
Here you go, guys.
There's a lot of moments like that.
Yeah, hard to whittle it down to one, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sam Riegel, who plays our bard in our Critical Roles group,
Yeah.
he is a perpetual source of ridiculousness. He's
One in every group.
Yeah, he's one of the most unpredictable players I've ever had,
Mm-hmm.
and he perpetually comes up with spontaneously improvised songs, uses of abilities and spells that are
Yeah.
really outside of the box and
Yeah.
not as intended design, but yet work in these weird circumstances.
Okay, yeah.
Exactly. Like, sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't see why not. What is going on? Yeah.
You did not plan for this.
Yeah. It turns into a fever dream really fast.
Yeah.
So he does that a lot. I've had, let's see. I mean, as far as hilarious circumstances go, in that show we had a sequence where Sam used seeming, the bard spell, to turn the entire party into cows, to try and infiltrate a field of cows for a rock, a giant bird that's been stealing livestock.
Yeah. Okay.
But they decided to then interrogate some of the cows, even though they couldn't speak cow, because it's just an illusion.
Right.
But also, it doesn't change their size, just their
Right.
image. So we had, between the Goliaths and the gnomes, we had a wide variety of large and tiny
Oh
cows.
yeah, you've got like cows of all sizes.
Yep, and then when the rock did snatch somebody and take off with them, the sorcerer cast flight on the party,
Mm-hmm.
and now we had a fleet of flying cows
Oh,
coasting
man.
through the moonlight after this rock. And so yeah, stuff like that.
Absolutely. Just like what can't plan it.
Yep.
Just spur of the moment. You cannot make this stuff up.
Yep.
That's awesome. All right. So what can we expect the Critical Role or Vox Machina live action movie? Or when can we? Because an animated one would be too easy. Is what my question says. But we'll go with the first part
I mean,
if you can.
well, no, I mean, God, I'd love to see that happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if it will. Filmmaking is a very expensive process.
Yes,
and
it took years for the Warcraft movie to come out, and that's been on almost 10 years or so at least.
Yeah.
So
yeah, live action. I don't know if it would ever lend itself to live action. I think it lends itself better to animation. I would love to see it as an animated show.
because there's so much more you can do with that.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you've got a cast of voice actors, so I mean, you've got it made. So
Yeah. So that plus, I mean, when you consider animation would allow us to still probably play the characters that
Right,
we do.
precisely.
For on camera, no, that would be a whole different casting process.
Yeah, probably a little bit more expensive too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just a smidge.
All right, so this is one of my favorite questions. It was totally last minute addition.
Mm-hmm.
If you throw all logic aside and role playing aside, everything, and you are now a min-maxer, what type of character would you build to kill the most guys at once, and also on the flip side, the most powerful boss at one time? Like you could make a character and use, go through the typical 5th edition and everything, but you were to make it the most powerful character possible. What would you make?
Wow. I mean,
And assuming you could have any party composition you wanted, because I know that's a big part of it, is who you're partying with.
yeah, I mean, as an independent character,
Yeah.
if I had a really optimal party composition, I mean, a 20th level druid is virtually unbeatable. You
Yeah.
have
Why is that? For folks at home.
folks who don't know.
Yeah.
If you go Circle of the Moon, or it might just be a druid feature, I can't remember if it's part of that circle or not. But but there is a max level druid ability where you can go into your beast form, which is normally limited to a certain number of times per short rest.
Right.
An infinite number of times.
Oh, you just stay beast mode.
Yep.
It's literally beast mode at that point.
Right. Well, because you have separate hit points as whatever beast you transform into. So you transform into a beast with like 100 hit points, and you fight until you go to 0, transform back, then next turn beast form again, and have another 100 hit points. Gets knocked down. Next turn, just go back again, another 100 hit points. And essentially have infinite hit points. Things can only really take you down if there's a gap between your turn if it comes back to you, and then you have heal spells for that. And since beast form is bonus action, you can just spend the top of your turn, heal yourself up, or even throw out a dangerous spell, then beast form. So that's just a really, really nasty combination. If you wanted to go for straight damage dealing, man, there's very few that can compete with the Berserker Barbarian.
Yeah.
Let alone if you take a few levels of fighter, so you get action surge on top of that.
Oh, there you go. Pro tip for you guys.
It's like beyond, like if you end up, we're talking 3rd level fighter, 14th level barbarian, so you're 17th level, you have 3 attacks per round. We're going to assume like Great Axe or Great Maul or something like that. Of course, with Brutal Critical, Reckless Strike, so you can do advantage on all of your attacks.
Yeah.
So you get 3 attacks in the round.
Love that mechanic, by the way. Oh my gosh.
Advantage and disadvantage change made the combat system in D&D so much more manageable.
Yes. It's like the I got a 20. Oh, I got a 20. Okay, you killed him. You're good.
Yeah.
So
consider like a pretty high strength raging barbarian. You're doing all this damage with your melee attacks. Let's say you're rolling d12s plus your rage damage plus whatever your strength bonus is. We'll say we're looking at like +9 damage per hit.
Yeah.
Great Weapon Master feat thrown in there, -5 to hit, +10 damage. You're doing so much damage per hit, and you get 3 attacks with 1 action surge, 6 attacks in 1 turn.
I mean, if it lands, you're good. Yeah,
and with advantage, there's probably a chance it's going to land, and some of them are going to crit, which then explodes because of brutal criticals as a barbarian. And then the level 14 Berserker Barbarian ability is if you then take damage, you can use your reaction to get an extra attack.
Absolutely.
So you're looking at 7 attacks in 1 combat round, all with advantage, or most of them with advantage.
Oh, that's crazy.
Absurd.
So this is another off-the-cuff thing. For whenever y'all are going through and you're doing like just your games, do you prefer to have your characters be more role-play focused or more game mechanics focused? I mean, I know D&D is about immersing yourself in these worlds and everything, but if you're just kicking back, playing, having a good time, are you trying to get as much RP out of it as you can, or are you just maybe middle of the road?
I tend to wander middle of the road, leaning towards more RP heavy.
Okay.
The mechanics are definitely a fun aspect of the game, and it I think one informs the other.
Right.
But I don't stick stringently to like the rule set of mechanics if story and narrative drives it better. So yeah, I'd say I definitely more focused on RP, and I try and incorporate more narrative into the combat as well. It's a difficult balance just in general, especially for longer battles. But it's I think role-playing game the role-playing aspect of the game will inform how the mechanics can be applied to the narrative.
Right. Perfect. Man knows his stuff.
I hope so. I'm learning stuff.
So here's another kind of last-minute one.
Sure.
When, if ever, are you going to have a moment on Critical Role where the minds are switched? We've already gone through the mind player thing, so I think that would be interesting.
It would be interesting. I mean, it would have to be a pretty good narrative excuse, or else it would come off very kitschy and very Freaky Friday fan servicey. Right. And that's the thing. Is like I know people are requesting it. There's been jokes about it. But like to put it into the narrative, it would be a little
too much.
I'm
too far out
I'm
there.
worried it would break the relatively serious and intense story element. It would have to be a very, very perfect alignment of the planets to really introduce a moment in the story beats where I could be like, yeah, sure, we'll do a Freaky Friday session. Right. It's not impossible, but
probably not.
I don't foresee it anytime soon. Is what I'd say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the serious tone of the RP sessions that you'll have and everything, there's other campaigns going on that do just that. So having that corner, I think, really suits it for you guys, and to just continue on it, I think it'll be really, really good for the show. But I mean, it could happen.
We'll see. Maybe like a charity one-shot someday where they all wake up, switch bodies, and everyone plays their own characters.
Like ELR fundraiser or something like that.
Exactly.
Yes,
so like maybe something like that, like a non-canon side thing.
Absolutely. So that pretty much wraps it up for us. Y'all be sure to check out Critical Role with Geek and Sundry with Mr. Mercer himself, the man, the legend.
Yes. 7 p.m. Pacific time, Thursday nights on Geek and Sundry's Twitch.
Yeah. Y'all don't miss out. Again, I'm Cale. I'm with Game Haven, Geek and Sundry. Well, I'm not with Geek and Sundry. He's with Geek and Sundry.
You are currently with.
I'm with Geek and Sundry. Yeah,
so there you go.
Kind of, sort of.
Perfect.
So thanks for staying around, and we'll see you guys on the flip side. Take care.
See you guys.